Today, my very first one proved that I truly do have a reason for a calling to do house calls.
Yes.
No.
But I do want to say, and I don't want to try to scare you or anything, and it was not nice. And I just want to say the random oil substance is usually a sign of something very bad. Yeah, it's not a good sign. That's another sign of demonic infestation.
She's like,
if there is a demonic entity here, that I personally think majority of house investigations are demonic or evil. That's not good.
No.
Oh, that's not good. And that's just not good. Oh, and then it's really a demon.
Yeah.
And then me and you have talked before, why do you think the demons like fear me?
Oh,
you know, living with demons.
Hey guys, and welcome back. Today we're going to look at Clayton the Ghost Chaser. He feels that he should be going into people's houses and helping them. That is the last thing that this dude needs to be doing. I beg you, please, please, please don't do this. Let's get into it.
Let's debunk.
Dear Jake, the Ghost Chaser. Oops, I mean Clayton Ghost Chaser. I am writing to you today concerning your recent calling to do paranormal house call. I am begging you not to. From what I've seen in your first attempt, you are not ready to do residential cases. As one that has done these types of cases for a long time, you are not ready to do this kind of work, in my opinion. Everything that I clipped in that short intro is what you don't say to a client, especially if they are thinking it may be demonic. I would recommend that if you honestly feel that you are called to do this, I would recommend that you work with a mentor or mentors that have done this work for a couple years. Also, keep it off of YouTube. These cases don't need to be done for clicks and views. Thank you, Jeff. P.S. I will be nice this time, but if you turn into Paranormal Nightmare Jr., I won't be so nice in future videos. And once again, Beardo has beat us to the punch on this channel.
Damn you! God damn you!
Beardo, in my defense, I think we found these guys around the same time. I said in a post that I was going to do a video on this guy, if Beardo already had one made and it was posting the next day. So, and once again, I just don't want people to think that I'm copying anybody. So that's why I'm saying this. You guys saw it on the screen, exactly how it happened. That was actually a couple weeks ago too, so that's how far behind I am. So because Beardo did a video on Clayton Ghost Chaser, he decided to defend himself and kind of take a little jab at Beardo. It wasn't anything horrible, nothing out of the ordinary. This just happened. So let's go ahead and watch that real quick.
What's up, Chasers? It's Clayton, and welcome back to another episode here on my YouTube channel. Today's video is unlike anything I have ever done before. In light of recent controversies regarding my part 2 of the Sharon Faye family house call investigation, that has now my first video that has reached 25,000 views.
So I didn't watch Beardo's video because I did not want to be influenced by what his opinion was of these guys. I did watch about 60 seconds, and Beardo pointed out something that I caught right away too, is that this guy and this family involved are way too excited to be telling these stories, and they're smiling and giggling and laughing. And I've been around some gnarly cases before, and there ain't no smiling and laughing involved.
A lot of this controversy comes from a debunker known as Beardo. And Beardo, I want everybody to tag him right now for this video, because you left a lot out in your debunking video that made your story seem a lot more feasible when you left out main parts of the actual story, of the history of the family, of the history of the hauntings. And I'm not coming on here and just shitting on debunkers. I love people expressing their opinions.
Awesome. Get ready for mine.
Do not get me wrong, but when it is an investigation as important as a house call that regards a family and death and everything regarding that, it means a big deal to me.
I actually agree with that. It does mean a big deal. That's why we shouldn't be doing this stuff for YouTube.
And it should everybody else. So I want everybody to tag Beardo. And Beardo, I want you or any other debunker to watch this entire video, because I am compiling part 1 and part 2 into a singular cinematic experience. So you all get to see over a year of investigating and health issues that Sharon went through because of this demonic entity and the curse that her and her family has had. You all get to see the history, us investigating the house for the first time and figuring out what kind of haunting it is, what the demon wants. And then it gets on to a year later
So I will make that promise to you. I will watch part 2. It's in entirety. And if I see anything different in part 2, because we're reacting to part 1 today, I will come out and apologize. But I can't. Oh, please be careful, Jeff. I can't imagine part 2 was any better than part 1. Not impressed. And when we get into the video of part 1, believe me, I'll tell you why I'm not thinking you should be doing this.
Where we go back, investigate again, and cleanse the house. So to start this video, you are gonna have a message from Sharon herself, which was filmed just a week ago, a message for everybody here on the internet, and then it's gonna cut into part 1 and part 2, so you get to see the entire story fleshed out.
Or you've discovered that these were very good videos for your channel, so you've decided to repackage them and re-upload them. Just an opinion, just a thought. I don't know if that's what you're doing here. But it could be.
It's gonna be amazing. Thank you all so much. Make sure you click the subscribe button. And if you are in need of a house call investigation, email me in the description below. There is going to be an email that you can send your story, your experiences, everything you need to put in there. Email me that and we will talk.
Let's get into that a little bit. So all these guys say all the time, you know, well, if you got a problem with what I'm doing, why don't you email me? Why don't you contact me? I actually did. And I'm going on about 2 weeks or more now, and you haven't replied. Let me ask you this too, Clayton, and this is a come to Jesus moment. If you really feel that you are called to help people, if somebody reached out to you by email and really had a problem going on and said, but I don't want to be on YouTube, would you take the case? I mean, you really got to think about that.
So there was a video made saying that we faked this video. So I wanted to come on and address that.
So I don't know if Beardo said that they faked anything in his video, because they're clearly talking about Beardo. I didn't watch it. Like I said, I watched 60 seconds, so I don't know if he said that they faked things or not. And maybe they did in part 2. I don't know because I haven't watched it. I do know that in part 1, I don't think they're faking anything. It's just a bad investigation.
And say that, guys, everything you see in this video was absolutely 100% authentic. I've never faked any evidence in my life. I have investigated with Clayton multiple times and he's never faked any evidence. So let's just clear the air with that first.
Okay, so we're not going to really react to anything else that she says, and not because it's not important. What I remember seeing, I don't know that there is anything to go at her about. But I will say this. It bothers me when these YouTubers go into people's houses. Everybody knows that. I've said it a billion times by now. This one doesn't really make me mad, though, because these clients are friends of theirs, are friends of Clayton, and they're willing participants. They're investigating together. They go out ghost hunting together, by what I've read and seen and heard them say. So it's not like they just got some random person reached out to them. We're doing a dark case and putting it up on YouTube. This is, I mean, they're in this together, and I'm not saying for nefarious reasons. I'm just saying that these two know each other, and it's not like some random house. Clayton, I did notice, and this is April 4th of 2025 that I'm saying this. Clayton does have another video coming out with his house call series, and it's going to be, I believe it's at his cousin's house, but it's at a family member's house. I don't know. I haven't seen the title. It could be another demon. Probably is. I don't know. I'm not saying it is. Some people are saying it is. But if it was the greatest demon in the history of demons. I can guarantee you that. The most powerful demon on the face of the earth. Yeah, I don't know. Some people say that.
I would imagine it can only get worse.
But anyway, let's go ahead and react to this part 1, and I hope to not make this go on forever because I had a lot of shit to say.
This family is suffering from a haunting that is taking a toll on their everyday lives.
I seen a black figure with horns that go straight out and red eyes. I'm not supposed to cry on camera.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make you cry. I'm not trying to cry. When it said Sharon dead.
Together, Jesus! Together, Jesus! Oh my God!
Father, I thank you for unity in this room tonight. I thank you, Father, that the angels of heaven settle into this room tonight, Father God, that the light of God shines forth in here, that that demonic thing cannot and will not stay.
What's up, Chasers? It's Clayton, and welcome back to another episode on my YouTube channel. Today's video is the first installment in my house call series, where if you don't know what that is, basically families reach out to me, and I go to their house or their apartment, whatever it is, I interview them, and then I investigate overnight, trying to figure out or get answers for them as to what's causing them all the horrors throughout the night, or if it's nothing scary, they just want to know if they're talking to a family member. Basically, I go to people's houses and I investigate the paranormal just like I do at other haunted locations.
Okay, so let's start out by being positive. You know, some people would say, I'm not saying this myself, but some people would say that I am the most positive person on the face of the earth in the history of positivity.
If you want me to come out, interview the family, film at the house or the property, whatever it is, I would love to get in contact with you all, so please send an email to this email right here. Make sure you all subscribe and enjoy the first episode of Clayton Ghost Chaser House Calls. What's going on, Charlie?
How are you?
Doing good. First, I just want to start this off by saying thank you for allowing me to come in here and investigate your house. Like, it is a huge honor. This is my first house call ever.
All right.
So you all have the honor of being my very first house call on YouTube ever.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been great. So I just want to start off because, I mean, this is kind of new to me. I usually just go to friends' houses that are experiencing stuff. We kind of just goof around and stuff, but...
You know these people and you investigate with them, so wouldn't that just be the same thing? You're going around to your friends' houses and goofing off?
Well, duh.
Yeah, this is not starting out well.
How do you feel in your house that's haunted? Like, what is the personal feeling that you get, like just sleeping, hanging out, coming home?
Really, it's nothing spooky or eerie. You know, nothing feeling or oppressive or anything. Just weird things happen, and you go, "Huh, what was that?" or "Why did that happen?"
Okay, so there you have it. Nothing spooky, just nothing eerie, nothing bad, nothing demonic. This guy's not afraid at all. You can tell by the way he's talking. He's not scared of anything. So, in my experience, things that are darker in nature, this interview wouldn't be going like this. This guy would not be all smiles and, oh yeah, nothing scary, blah, blah, blah. So, this tells me right away that this is going somewhere that... How does it go from this to being a demonic haunting?
But nothing in the aspect of, you know, scared to go to sleep or afraid to come home or anything like that.
Well, that's good.
Here's another clue to me that this isn't anything dark or demonic or anything like that. We've actually done cases where the people, and this wasn't even a demonic case, this was just a nasty spirit we felt. But we've worked on cases where the wife would come home 4 hours before her husband from work because of their schedules. She wouldn't go in the house until 5 minutes before he got home, and didn't tell her that she would do this because she was so scared to be in the house. The fact that they're not afraid to come home or, you know, anything like that, that tells me right away that this is not demonic. I don't care, you know, I don't care what you think, Clayton. It's not demonic.
So this is a big thing that I'm very curious about. What are some of, like, the main things you've, like, experienced paranormal-wise while in the house?
Sounds like people are walking through the house. You'll be sitting there and it'll sound like somebody just walked down the hallway, and you'll be sitting in the living room and you're looking, you know there's nobody in the hallway because you're sitting there in the living room looking down the hallway, but you can hear footsteps.
It's funny that you say that because when I came over for the first time and hung out with, like, Sharon in the house, it was after, I can't remember what trip it was, but she allowed us to come over and stuff, and we hung out, and we were sitting there watching Ghost Adventures, and all of a sudden, I heard the walking, and Sharon just kind of, like, gave me a look, and she was like, "Yup, that's what we hear," and I was like, that was so loud. Like, I was expecting you to come out of the bedroom or one of the kids or something.
Again, more evidence that these are friends and they're just hanging out. So I don't know how much of this interview we're going to watch. I want to get into their investigation stuff because it's nothing short of spectacular. So I just cut a big chunk out. All he has described is people, him and his sister specific, because I don't want Clayton to say that things have been taken out of context or the important stuff has been left out. But this guy and his sister both have reported footsteps in the house. That's all the claims so far.
Walking up and down.
Yeah.
And Sharon Faye and I one morning I got up and I said, "Come here, look at this." And there was some kind of, I don't know if it was an oily substance or whatever, but you could see something on the closet from the top of the closet door, because it's a folding door.
Okay, so why the boom when he said oily substance? Why the bass drop?
Well, I'm sorry for your loss, by the way. I didn't know it was that recent. I'm very sorry. But I do want to say, and I don't want to try to scare you or anything, but a month ago is kind of when me and Sharon started doing a lot more stuff together. And it was actually a little bit longer than that, but like the past few months, we've done a lot of stuff together paranormal-wise. And ever since she came in contact with me within the past month or two, she's gotten something that was attached to me. And it was not nice. It's a very oppressive spirit. It caused me, I was just depressed, pissed off for like 2 weeks straight. No reason why.
We got to bring this up. So what is it with YouTube ghost hunters and attachments? Why do all of these guys always have fucking attachments? And to blame what happened at this guy's house on your attachment is kind of okay. How'd you jump to that conclusion?
I was up in Indiana with my boys Jake and Noah, Spirit Stalkers, and every day I was just pissed off for no reason. And then my buddy Jake did Palo Santo on me and kind of cleansed me, and then ever since then I've been good. Everything's good. But then that night stuff started happening with Sharon.
Yeah.
It like jumped off to her because she was one of the most recent people with me on an investigation.
So a little waft, and it's all good. This is Palo Santo. I should be good.
And I just want to say the random oil substance is usually a sign of something very bad.
Could it be Satan?
This is where my head starts to melt a bit. Where are you getting that information from? That something oily on the wall is very bad, or sorry, on his door trim, on his closet door. I don't want to make a mistake. Who says that's bad? So at this point, he's taken this benign haunting that very well sounds like it could be this guy's mom. Just let him know that she's here. And this guy's turning it into something very bad.
Hello.
That is not anything you would ever, and this is why I urge you to not do these house calls. All right, guys, so I've already edited most of this whole entire video already, but I did want to add this. Stick around to the end. We're going to talk about why this is such a big deal to us, because all the time people say, why do you care what these guys do? Well, we're going to explain. I'm going to bring Dana in, and we're going to talk a little bit about why these types of videos like Clayton and Paranormal Nightmare, why they bother us so much. So stick around to the end and we'll tell that story. So you guys need to just don't go into people's houses. Like I said in the letter, and it wasn't the actual email, but in the letter, go mentor with somebody for a couple years. If you really want to do this and you feel that you're called to do this, go mentor with somebody for a few years. Keep it off of YouTube. I mean, go investigate, the Sally House and wherever else you guys go. Do all that shit for YouTube. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't go into these people's homes and put it on YouTube, especially when you don't know what you're doing. You may think you do, but we'll see when you start investigating, because I've already watched this. All you guys did was Spirit Box stuff and DR60 stuff. That's it. And you come up with the fact that it's a demon because of that.
Yeah, it was because it's never happened again, but it was just one of those things of, look, it really looked like somebody spilled some kind of drink on it.
Yeah.
But, mostly for me, it's just been footsteps. I was in another bedroom off the kitchen.
Yeah, did you hear that?
No.
Just now? I don't know. That sounded like a footstep in the kitchen.
That was right behind you.
Yeah, that was right. My brother Cruz was right behind the camera. No, that was right there, like a straight up footstep. That was creepy.
Well, it been quiet for a few days.
So that was actually pretty funny. I've seen, he's like, "Oh, did you hear that?" And the guy's like, "No." I've seen psychic videos where, the psychic will say, "I'm seeing a gym. Do you know a gym?" And the client just kind of like, "No, I'm sorry," that kind of thing. So, okay, so we're going to skip the rest of this guy's interview. We're going to go on to the next, because all he is describing is just regular, normal, everyday, non-scary haunted house stuff.
Please disperse. Nothing to see here, please.
Alrighty.
Tawana, what is up?
Not much. What's up with you?
Not much. We haven't really got to sit down and really talk ever.
No, we have
I
not.
know, and it seems like you have a lot of terrifying experiences
Yes.
in this house. So I'm
Yes.
very curious as to which one you want to start off with.
Okay, so the scariest yet for me, I would have to say, is I was sleeping the other night, rolled over in the middle of the night to get up and go use the restroom, and I've been for a while like seeing like things move in the basement that looked like a shadow.
Yeah.
And I kind of just overlooked it, thinking, okay, maybe somebody's walking past the door at the top of the steps, and maybe that's what I'm seeing. Well, the other night I got up and I seen red eyes at the foot of my bed.
Oh my God.
So I was like, yeah, okay, it's not somebody
Oh my
upstairs,
God.
it's somebody down here with me.
Yeah.
And so that was like the first time that I can say I was legitimately scared. I literally turned on my lights and slept with my lights on that night because I was like, nope, you're not getting me in the middle of the night.
God.
Don't think so.
Here we are again. So, just maybe a little lesson in how to conduct these interviews and stuff like that when you're dealing with residential cases. When a person tells you something like that, you need to pause them. Let's not, because that's a big claim. I saw red eyes. You need to really drill them for details. And, I hate to say be like a cop, but, kind of ask them the same thing different times in different ways to see if they say the same thing consistently or if they have any changes into their story. Because if they don't remember details, that's usually a good indication that, I'm not saying they're making it up, but it's an indication that it may not be real. It may be just what they thought happened. Because usually traumatic things like that. And if I saw a pair of beady red eyes staring at me at night, that's a traumatic event. You're going to remember the details. So if you're going to continue to do these house calls, which I wish you wouldn't, come up with, some different interview questions. Don't just sit there and go, wow, that's crazy. That's creepy. No, start asking for details. You're an investigator, for fuck's sake. Start investigating. Don't just listen to these stories. That's what Paranormal Nightmare does. He sits there like this. It just lets the people say whatever the fuck they want to say. As long as it's scary, Josh ain't going to interrupt them. He's going to, that's video gold.
The Emmy goes to, and you're all fabulous, by the way.
Well, the good news, honey, is that the ghosts are gone. Because the demons chased them off, baby.
So that was the day, everybody, that I knew that I had made it in YouTube, when Shape made animations of me. That was a good video. I'm going to link it in the description if anybody hasn't seen it yet. Go check it out. Shape always does good work. Everybody knows that, so go check it out. So we really got to get moving with this. We're going to skip a lot of these interviews. It's the same stories of scratches, bruises, seeing things. I'll play a little bit of the interview with the two daughters, but we're not going to play a whole bunch or we'll never get to the investigation. And I really, really, really want to get to that investigation because it's epic.
We're just investigating the house. We do it from time to time. We pull out our equipment and just kind of goof off. And we had our equipment out in my dad's room. I went out that night and went to go to bed and get ready for bed, and I actually had 3 scratch marks across my chest.
So it's physically harming you?
Yes. I had 3 scratch marks, and I sent it to my sister, and I was like, Sharon Faye, what the hell?
So in these interviews, you're going to see how happy they are to share their stories. I mean, there's a bunch of laughing and giggling the whole time. They're not terrified at all. I'm sorry. I do think they think what they're experiencing is real. So I don't want to say they're flat out faking it or making it up or lying. But it's not evil. I'm telling you. There's no laughing in evil, darker cases. I've said it before, and I'll probably say it 20 more times.
I was like, what the hell?
Right.
I don't have any fingernails. Like, there's no reason that I should have these on my chest.
No.
I said, I felt a burning sensation earlier when we were, like, doing our thing. But Sharon Faye, I didn't think nothing of it. Like, I thought I was just hot. And so I was like, I guess it scratched me.
Oh my God, hang on, that's weird.
Yes.
As soon as you told that story, I just got a horrible pain in my head.
That's something else that happens too in these YouTube videos. They always get these weird pains, and I mean, did he? I don't know. I can't say he didn't, but after seeing the rest of this video, I'm sorry, I have my doubts.
Well, that's no fun. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I'm used to stuff like this, but that is just weird.
Yeah, it was the first time that I was like, wow. That is, because I've never, I've been on ghost hunts and things with her, and went to different places with her, and I've never been physically touched.
Right.
Like, I've seen things, I've, experienced things, but I've never been physically touched. So,
right.
That was like, whoa.
Yeah, especially with it being in your own home.
Yes.
Like, it's not like you went to, like, Waverly Hills and got scratched or something. It was in your bedroom.
Yes, it was in my home.
Oh, that's not good.
So that was crazy. And then I felt like I was going crazy.
So again, he's reassuring her that that's not good. Oh no, that's not good. These are things, once again, that you would never, ever, ever say to a client in an interview. Another thing too, it's just more ghost stories. You're not asking questions to see. You have to go into these places with the assumption that it's not a ghost. So you got to rule out the. You really got to get into these stories and try and figure out what's actually going on. And if you can't figure out what's going on, then maybe you're onto something. It's just more, paranormal nightmares. We just listen to your ghost stories and make a video out of it.
Now you're experiencing stuff on your own that, like, you smell it, nobody else does.
Yes.
You got scratched. So this thing, it seems like if there is a demonic entity here, that it is going to each individual person in this home and giving them their own sign of, like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
Like, you got physically scratched.
Yep.
It seems like its manifestation with you is getting more and more, like, intense. Like, first it's the smell, then you're hearing mom, then you got physically harmed, and now you're seeing its eyes.
Yeah.
So, like, my question is, what's next? Like, what's it gonna do to show you that it's here next?
Right.
That's not good.
No.
That's not good at all. And you're in the basement. And I hate to say that, but basement is always the scariest part of a house. It's horrible.
It is.
Does she look scared to you? She doesn't to me. Everything he says is going to add fear to people. Like I said, my fear is that he's going to come across a random person that he doesn't know because he knows these people and scare the living shit out of them and make it worse. If they all want to have fun and play around in their house, whatever, that's their thing. But don't ever say that shit in front of people that you don't know.
Sharon, what is up?
Oh, living dream.
Living with demons. Okay, well, me and you have talked a lot.
If you're living with demons, you are not going to answer that question like that and laugh and have fun. I got to stop saying the same thing over and over. There's nothing fun about it. I have a hard time believing any of this story.
So, I kind of just want you to kind of rehash for the cameras what all we've talked about. Okay. And you can start off at the first experience, moving on of how they become more intense or anything, any way that you want to, because I already know all your stories. I don't know if there's any more or anything like that.
The night.
Objection? Leading the witness.
Sustained.
Oh, so that's what that means. Actually, never mind. I'm still confused.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Especially some recent ones. I would say since I moved in 2 years ago, it's been haunted.
Okay.
Just find cool stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
Of course, I do the same stuff you do. I go into crazy places. There's always a risk of attachments.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't had one yet.
So there you have it again. More ghost stories. That's all it is. There's no questions about, hey, what kind of medications are you on? Have you had a mental health evaluation? Things like that. There's a lot of personal questions you need to ask these people, and he doesn't ask any of them.
Figure with horns that go straight out and red eyes. And I've seen a lot of demons in my time, but I've never seen one with red eyes before.
I've never heard of straight horns
either. They're usually like a goat.
Yeah.
And these just go straight out. And then I seen it in the house on my dresser in my room one night.
Perched up?
Perched up on, just crouched up, and I was like, oh, well, there's that, and it just stared at me, and I just rolled over and went back to sleep.
So you have a horned demon on your dressing staring at you, and you're just going to roll over and go to sleep? So I said, guys, I'm not buying this. This doesn't line up with any other stories I've ever heard from other people.
And then I've seen it up on the wall in the corner like Spider-Man. That's the only way I know how to explain it to you, is like literally just hunched up like Spider-Man, just staring at me while I'm sleeping.
That's all we're going to include of her in this. If you guys want to see the whole thing, go watch his videos. I'll link those in the description. It's just more ghost stories. The whole video up to this point has just been ghost stories. And they get worse and worse and worse and worse, except for the dad. He didn't say anything scary at all when he was interviewed. So now let's get into this epic investigation.
We ready?
We're ready.
Y'all lead the way.
All right, so let's head to the basement.
We're now going to hit some of the hot spots in the house on a little walkthrough. We're going to have some people in the family with us just to see if we can use them as trigger objects, see if anything happens while they're with us while we're investigating. God, it's great. Basements are always just so creepy. They're always so creepy.
It's definitely heavy down here.
So there's the room where, do you want to have a right there? Right there? You go right here.
Yep.
Oh my God. Good Lord. Well, Charlie, you ready to see the DR60 in action?
Yes, I'd love to see it.
Please do not get me started. I'm a little verklempt.
Please, Lord, take me now. Dear God in heaven, I ask you today why I couldn't have a more meaningful role in life, such as the guy that cleans out the Porta-Johns after the music festival. Why did you choose this for me? Please, give me some answers. Amen. Oh, yes. Another DR60 investigation.
All right, so everybody watching, this is a voice-activated recorder. So basically, while we're recording, theoretically, it should only pick up when each of us talk or ask a question. If there's any recording in between, that is picking up something that our ears cannot hear.
Okay, Clayton, maybe you didn't get the memo yet, so I'm going to clue you in on a little secret. The DR60 is a piece of shit. It was recalled, I believe, back in the 90s because it was a piece of shit, because customers were complaining that there was extra shit on them. It wasn't ghosts, so we start out right away. This investigation is flawed from the beginning. Completely flawed. Sorry, it's not an investigation, really. It's a ghost hunt. Let's be honest here. If it was a real, true investigation, you wouldn't be using a stupid DR60.
So if you all want to ask the questions, feel free to ask whatever you want.
Okay, I'll start whenever you're
All
ready.
right, 3, 2, 1.
So how long before they get an answer? That's what I want to know.
Is there anybody here with us tonight that would like to speak?
Why are you here?
Are you attached to anybody here?
Did something happen in the past we don't know about?
Do you have something you want to say?
All right, now we're going to do playback. See if we got anything.
So what do we ask? 3 or 4 questions? I bet they get a response.
Right there.
Right there.
Yeah, there.
Oh,
Whoa,
that was something.
Whoa.
Oh.
Oh, really? Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner.
Yes.
I think so. Either that or something very like unintelligent.
Whoa.
That was you. Calm down.
Okay, so really just unintelligible responses. But we that one was very clear about the past. Something happened. Something very like tried to manifest and respond.
Yeah.
Where is that the ironing room
Yes,
right there?
that's the room.
Let's go try to do one in there real quick.
Did you just say that that was a very clear, unintelligible response? Oh, I had such high hopes for this investigation. Not really.
All right, here, I'm even going to set this one down so nobody can say it's my hand or anything. So we're going to do DR60 session number 2 down here in the basement. 3, 2, 1.
So they head off to the iron room or the utility room, whatever they call it, and they decide they can't film in there because the air conditioner's too loud, so they're going to film outside of the door. So they've just moved about 8 feet across the room. So how long before they get a response in this set?
So me counting right there,
Was that ticks?
that was ticking. It was recording.
Wow.
That was recording something. We were all silent. Like nobody was saying a word. So when I do that, I'm just counting the numbers because you can see when it's recording up here, and none of us were talking in that. So let's see what we got.
Could it maybe be the loud-ass air conditioner that you can still hear on the other cameras, Mike? You're right next to it. You said it picks up, noises. That thing is really loud. Okay, Clayton, because I'm a nice person, I'm going to help you solve this case really, really quickly. We can end this investigation right now. It'd be over and done with. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to, and this ritual came from Father Ramalama Ding Dong. Yes, he is a real person. He got ordained the same place that I did, and about 90% of the exorcists in this country. So don't judge him. So I want you to start at the northwest corner of the house, walking around the house clockwise. Every time you get back to the northwest corner of the house, you need to take an article of clothing off. Do that as many laps as it takes before you are completely naked. Then you need to get a shovel and dig a hole precisely 666 centimeters in the ground in the northwest corner of the house. Then I would like you to sprinkle that DR60 with some holy water, wrap it up completely in duct tape that it can never be operated again, drop it in the hole, and bury it. Poof. Demons are gone. You're welcome.
I said parachute panties.
Parachute panties.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of What the F did that just say? It's the game show where you decide what is said before they put their bullshit on the screen. Okay, so for this part, let's go ahead and bring in Mrs. Boo and Boo herself to see what they think about these EVPs from the infamous DR60 recorder.
Boo, we're doing this together. Here. High five. Good girl.
Did you hear that?
There was something right at the beginning.
It sounds like ha or ha. It doesn't even sound like anything. It just sounds like a noise.
Okay.
You gotta give him that hawk too and spit on that thing.
Well, here's the answer.
It sounds like it's just like, it sounds like it's something in the room. It's not like it's something making, it sounds like it's something like maybe like a fan or somebody hit a mic.
Sharon. That's what I thought it said.
Sharon.
I thought it said Sharon too.
Oh my God. Sharon.
Yeah, it's Sharon.
That didn't even sound like the same thing that I heard.
It is the same thing. Did you hear Sharon at all?
No.
Okay.
It's talking. Man, I got goosebumps.
It doesn't sound like anything. It sounds like a bunch of crunching and movement. It doesn't sound like there's anything being said.
If you were to turn it into something, not knowing anything about this video at all, because you haven't seen anything, what could you create that it said?
Wait, I don't even know where they're at or anything, so I have no context of what they're at. Okay.
I can't make
Did that say get out of here and then somebody's name? Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Out of here.
I don't even get that anywhere.
Okay.
I mean, okay. I grant you, I never hear things a lot. Okay. Grant you, I don't hear things a lot, but I'm not hearing any of it. What they're saying, I'm sorry, I don't hear it.
Okay.
I don't hear it.
So here's the third.
Boo, did you hear it? Did you hear it? Say no. Okay.
What was that?
Is that supposed to be a growl? It sounds just like a growl, but there is so much noise contamination behind it that you can't make out what's real and what's not, and what's being picked up on the recorder, because there's so much contamination. Like I keep hearing that the one from prior, it seems like that keeps like playing, that same kind of thing is in the background playing. Like there's so much contamination. I can't make it out.
How much would you think that recorder cost?
Probably because it's so messed up.
You can say fucked up.
Yeah, so fucked up. It probably cost them like $1,000.
No, those are like $5,000.
That one?
They're pieces of shit from the 90s that are recalled because they're pieces of shit.
Oh, it's that recorder.
It's that DR60. Okay, so here's the answer to that one.
Oh boy.
Whoa, what was the question?
I think she asked if it was demonic.
Was that one? Attached to it. Sharon and Clayton.
It did. It said Sharon and Clayton. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yep.
I think it said Sharon and Clayton mother.
What? Where the hell did they get that? What? Boo! Did you hear that? I know, they're crazy.
What?
I thought the first one I heard, I thought he said.
It's still talking. Yes, I am.
Wow, get them?
It said motherfucker.
It said motherfucker. That was the last thing it said. Oh my god.
That was a whole sentence, bro.
Well, if it's talking that much, do you want to run the spirit box real quick? And then we can go ahead and move upstairs as well.
What? Are you kidding me?
Isn't that the coolest thing you've ever heard?
Yes. Isn't that insane?
That is insane.
Oh my god.
No.
Alright guys, now we're gonna get out the spirit box.
Damn you! God damn you!
So basically this is gonna massively sweep through radio frequencies at different frequency rates, and it's basically generating a bunch of white noise that is said that spirits can speak through a lot clearer than normal frequencies.
And it's also going to pick up radio stations that are playing human voices. And that's... You can't bring this shit into people's houses.
Who's down here in this basement? Here?
Here.
Our lives. You know,
That's why we want your lives?
Guys, we're not going to play a whole lot of this because I know how much everybody just loves the spirit box sessions. But we do got to play a little bit.
Did you just put it through on the DR60?
for the LGBT.
What do you want with this family?
We're nothing don't work. Point.
Sharon.
Yeah.
That's like Sharon's dead?
Yeah. Why do you want me dead? What'd I do to you?
No, it didn't. But what they're doing here, and this is the easiest way to get voices on this thing, is played at a very, very slow sweep rate on FM. And you're going to get all kinds of radio stations coming through saying all kinds of parts of sentences.
God! Wow!
That was clear.
That was. Do you fear God?
he highlights that. Why would you jump to that question? Do you fear God? Instead of saying like, is God here to protect us, or is God with us? Or, you know, the first thing you jump to is, do you fear God? Why would you say that in front of somebody? Thank God these people are your friends.
Where'd you come from?
Give your dog
What? Something give your something.
I heard to give your dog nutrition is what I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it said give your dog nutrition because you picked up a dog commercial. It's probably for Rough Greens or something like that.
This is something that's important. If you love your animals, and I know you do, roughgreens.com/Chad. roughgreens.com/Chad. Your best friend will truly thank you for it. roughgreens.com/Chad.
You're more than welcome to sponsor me, Rough Greens, if you so choose.
I'm gonna change the sleep rate.
Hey, do y'all feel uneasy?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty sick to my stomach right about now, too. That being said, do any of them look uneasy to you? Do any of them look like they're fearful? Do any of them look scared? No, they're having a fun ghost hunt, is what it looks like to me.
Not really getting mine.
No, it's not want to talk now.
No. We got that. That DR60 was insane.
He's done talking.
They ran that thing for like 4 minutes. They've investigated, at least on video, for a total of about 10 to 15 minutes so far in this investigation. They went straight to the basement, did a DR60 session, caught all kinds of evidence on that, just did a spirit box session for about 5 minutes, and I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, it's not because I'm trying to make it look like... But they did not do this for a very long time. I guess that's my point. And look at all the evidence that they've captured so far to lead them to believe that this is evil and demonic. It's irresponsible what you're doing. Thank God it's your friend. Okay, let's move upstairs and see what kind of shenanigans happen up there.
We're now moving into Sharon's father, Charlie, his room.
What an adventure in the basement.
I know. We'll find a way to where we can discuss that for the video and stuff, because that definitely needs to be told, 100%.
Yes.
God.
No, it doesn't. It was an adventure in the basement. You guys had a blast. It was clear. You were having fun. I ain't never had no fun on a dark, bad case.
Here, I'm gonna move over here.
I'll tell you one thing, it's a totally different vibe up here than it is downstairs. Well, I don't know why that keeps talking. Maybe it's when to use the spirit box.
It's talking because it's a smart speaker, and that's what they do. Or, sorry, not a smart speaker, but a Bluetooth speaker. When I turn mine on, I forget what it says, but it always says something. It's not paranormal, for fuck's sake.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe it's just really wanting to connect to the spirit box.
It's not connected to a spirit box.
But it keeps playing.
Ready?
It's gonna be loud.
You want me? I'll shut
Yeah,
this
let's
door.
go to this door.
That just said we've been after you. That's exactly what that just said.
Protect yourself.
Protect yourself. And see, this is the safe room in the house. You're emotional, is what that just said.
So there's a narrative on this room too, and they just feed into it. Again, if you guys want to go see the whole thing so that you can see that I'm not taking things out of context, go watch this video. I don't care. I'm not trying to get people to not go watch his videos. I'm trying to get him to stop going into people's houses before he even starts with this house calls bullshit. Clayton, you don't know what you're doing.
Who are we talking to right now? Identify yourself.
in unity with each other.
In unity with each other. Breathe. Yep. That's crazy. We're getting like nice things in your room where the thing doesn't go through.
That's because we figured out who he is.
Yep. Did we figure everything out? He got caught. It just said he got caught. Oh my god. Oh
Yes.
my god.
Yes.
Okay, that's enough of the spirit box party. I'm done with it. I'm sure you guys are too. You guys all know my thoughts on the spirit box. I mean, and we've used them. We use them on ghost hunts. Never ever would we take this out in somebody's house and play it for them in their house. Because you can really hear things that your mind will twist into something that may sound scary. And, you know, then you're creating fear and causing more damage and harm. Enough with the spirit box.
Let's try the recorder.
Yeah.
That was an insane session. That was
crazy.
That was unreal.
Go from one extreme to the other.
Don't you dare get that fucking DR60 out again.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Well, it's found. It knows it's been found.
It's quite literally matched up with every single story you all told. That the bad thing's not in this room. The first thing that we get in here is protective stuff.
Yep.
Nothing bad. It was nothing kill you. It was nothing evil.
Yeah.
It was, wow. All right, I'm just gonna set this on the bed. 3, 2.
Which we're not going to play any of that because I'm not doing another DR60 session. I've already watched it 3 times, I think, because I've explained in a members only live video my process and how horrible it is, which leads me to watch these videos way more than I care to.
It talked for quite a while.
It did.
Yeah, we need to figure that
I've
out.
gone on lots of investigations, and this is the only place I have heard full sentences.
Yeah.
Like that was a
That
full
long.
sentence.
Yeah, it was.
Yep. And again, as we talked downstairs and we didn't record this, it is a personal attack. This is something very personal.
Spirit box? Yeah, let's pull it out.
And we're not going to listen to it. Why, you might ask? Because it's stupid. This is after their investigation, pretty much. They do another spirit box session, which we're not going to listen to. The conclusion that they've jumped to in such a short time just absolutely blows my mind. That within a few sessions that are 15 to 30 minutes each, maybe, guessing based on what's on the video, there's not a whole lot of cuts in it. So to jump to those conclusions, just it blows my mind. We didn't once look at anything logical. They don't even go there. It's all paranormal. We're gonna wrap this up, guys, soon. I promise.
It's done. It's been found.
Yep.
That's why it's hiding.
Yeah, it's been found. So what I would like to do, and you can record this if you want.
Okay.
I'd really like to pray.
Absolutely.
Because we have really started up, and this is, again, you said earlier, this is its focus.
Yeah.
Is this room.
Yeah, this is its hive. This is it.
This is
I'm
where
gonna prop it up. I mean, I'm gonna pray too. So. Yeah, it's fine. Just prop it up.
Charlie, I think, is the dad's name. Are you really going to put all of your hopes into such a young ghost chaser? None of this makes sense to me. I'm thinking this is all. I'm not saying they're. What am I saying without getting in trouble? It just baffles me that you would. Because in the beginning of this video, you weren't thinking this was anything bad or dark or anything like that. You were just. Basically, it sounded like you were describing like it was probably your mother that recently passed away that's been visiting you. And now you've let him convince you that this is all demonic, and I don't understand that. I'm being harsh, yes. I'm hoping you take something away from this and that you shouldn't be doing this. If you, like I said before, I've probably said it 4 or 5 times in this video because I've taken 2 weeks to film this. If you want to do all this shit at the Sally house or the Monroe house or any of these other places, I don't like it, but it's not the end of the world. But to do this in someone's house is just, you really, really, really need to think about this.
Here, we'll get it.
I think we need to pray.
That's perfect right there.
And I know what I want to pray. Anybody else wants to pray, they can. Whoever wants to start, I can finish. But I want because we've made it mad, and now it's hiding.
Yeah.
Okay, so they say a short prayer there, or, I don't know. So they say a prayer there, and there's nothing wrong with that. We end our investigations a lot of time with prayer.
It is.
It's very peaceful in here.
It is. This was a very moving night.
Yeah.
Very moving night.
Yeah, but you think you'd ever come into this, your first one?
I was gonna say your first
You know what really means a lot though is today my very first one proved that I truly do have a reason for a calling to do house calls.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, you do.
Because I've never had an investigation on this emotional level.
Yes.
Ever.
If you'd have been downstairs, it was very, it was very emotional. Because once it said Sharon killed, I got pissed.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know you, and I know how protective you are.
I just want to give hugs all around.
Yes.
Tonight was amazing.
Yes. And Jesus even said this, the devil said, when he couldn't tempt Jesus up on the mountain, to do those 3 things, he said, I will come back at more of an opportune time. That's why we had to deal with it.
Yep.
He's going to be gone probably for a few days, but we're going to deal with it before he comes back. So when he tries to come back, the door's locked.
Yep.
And he has no way of getting back in.
Exactly.
So Clayton, I think you have what it takes to be a very entertaining YouTube ghost hunter. You've got that look, that energy that a lot of people want to see. I mean, it's not my thing, and it's not a lot of people that I know. It's not their thing, but it's definitely the bulk of paranormal YouTube viewers. But stay the fuck out of people's houses. Don't do this to people. My fear is that you're going to get some random person. You're not going to know what the hell you're doing, and you're going to actually run into something dark and bad. And you're not going to know what to do, and all you're going to do is make the situation worse. To go in with that equipment, it's going to produce results every time. I can take that out in a parking lot, come up with any kind of story that I want to. I mean, we proved that with finding Big Pussy. Some of you that really follow the channel quite a bit, you guys will know exactly what I'm talking about. Others will be like, what? What's he looking for Big Pussy for? It's just a little thing that we did to prove the point of you can turn a spirit box into whatever the hell you want to turn it into. And the apps. I'm surprised you didn't get an app out. That actually, kudos for that. I'm proud of you for that one. So don't do this. Please, I'm begging you. But the most important part is to stay tuned for part 2. Your editing isn't bad. Your production isn't bad. Your intro is good. So, I mean, there are some positives. You're a good YouTuber. But that's a completely different skill set than a residential caseworker. Paranormal stuff. It's a completely different skill set. So here we are at the end of the Clayton video. You guys saw it, but I want to really explain why I go hard at him. And I really wasn't as hard as I cut out some stuff. About 2 weeks ago, we got involved in a case that this case would have made the Warrens salivate. This case would definitely have been in the Conjuring series had the Warrens gotten it. And all my Warren friends, I would urge you to take off the blinders, really do a deep dive into their popular cases, the ones that are televised and publicized, and really look at their involvement in those cases. Had they gotten this case, I can only imagine what it would have turned into. Had this person gone to the Warrens with these claims, they would have hired an author before even talking to her. We're going to bring Dana in to talk about the details of it a little bit, and we're not even going into detail yet because we were fired, but then maybe not, so I don't know. Sometimes that's how these cases end, and we weren't fired because we did anything wrong or the person didn't like us. The client is absolutely scared to death. We did involve authorities because I'm really concerned that this person is physically in danger, and it's not from a ghost. That being said, I am completely open to the fact that this could be paranormal, but we have to use our logical brains first because all of the evidence points towards a family member or two. So when Dana talks about notes being left, they're not just little one-line notes. These are sometimes 3-4 pages long, front and back, filled out. That's just, if I'm wrong and that's a ghost doing that, then like I said, be prepared to make a shit ton of money off of your case because this is the most haunted shit in the history of hauntings we've ever come across. So Clayton, my message to you is this. If you're not willing to put in 100 hours before you step foot in someone's house with a fucking camera, doing interviews, we interview friends, family, neighbors. When you call us for a case, like, and we tell you straight up, like, we are really, really going to look into the background of everybody involved. So if you don't want us to do this, just tell us to be on our way and we'll part ways as friends, and so be it. So I think combined between the three of us that are involved, we easily have over 100 hours in doing what we do. And we only went over there with a camera to interview her for about 2 hours.
So we were contacted by the client because for the past 5 years, she says her house has been, that she has a haunting. There's something haunting her. And it's not just been her, but other people in the family as well. The primary thing going on in the haunting is that the client is getting text messages from her own phone number and also getting emails from her own emails. And these aren't just like little one words, these are like paragraphs. And it's referring back to things of her past and things that are presently going on. The biggest claim that she's having is that it writes her notes. And by writing notes, it's not just like one or two things. It is like calling out things, like what she was doing, or if it's upset with her because she didn't do something. But it also is kind of favoring one person in the family. And if the client doesn't do something that that person likes, then it writes her a note kind of being nasty with her, and it's threatening. She always receives these notes when that person is in the house, but none of this stuff ever happens when that person is not in the house. And so things have gotten a little bit more tricky because that person has moved into the house with her. So in these notes are making this client change her life. She has changed things. Like it doesn't want her to be with friends. It's trying to seclude her from everybody around her. It's family, friends, doing things, going and doing things. But it also is going beyond that, where it's also making her do things that she wouldn't do. But if she doesn't do those things, it's going to come back at her. Pretty much from the first time we have talked with her, I have been there, or I've been with her on the phone with the client crying. I've been in person with her multiple times now crying. And one of our other members that's helping out with the case from Togs, same thing. And it's not just this, it's a cry for help. And these other teams have really kind of they've kind of feeded into that, it being paranormal and demonic at one point, or poltergeist, but they don't, by them feeding into it, it's now to the point that she was already being urged from it to kind of seal herself from everything else going on. But now it has her now believing because of the things it says and how it writes the notes and how it's kind of like watching her and the way it's presented, because the person that's doing it tells her that she's crazy, that like a person wouldn't do that. That's how, because it says how perfect this person is, that she cannot wrap her head around it not being a person, and it has to be something haunted. So it refers to things in the note that only happened when that person was in the home at that time. This case in itself just the time that we spent on it, and it's mostly been a lot of me on this case, to gain the trust of this client. But some of the things she's had to do, I wouldn't wish anybody else to have to do this, but it was kind of steps we had to take with her. But this is what happens when you have a team go in that doesn't do the research. We have so much research that we've already put into this before we even stepped into the house. This was after talking to her one time. Within 24 hours, we had probably a stack this high of printed out research that we had done on the property, on the family members, on everything. And by doing that, we found out so many different things that it probably is a person that wants things to be done their way. And it's frustrating to see these teams go in and just immediately say demonic, because when you're working on this case, Jeff can vouch, I don't get emotional about cases, and cases don't normally get me stirred up to the point that I'm emotional and I'm like sick to my stomach, because I'm working with this lady daily, and our friend Harold, we're working with this lady daily, and to see how much they have done by just these notes have done to her, it's heartbreaking. It is so heartbreaking. And to make her think that she is going crazy or that she is being haunted by something, these teams need to seriously do research, because it's not, you have to do the research and you have to take time. You cannot go in there immediately and say it's demonic or it is a haunting. You have to prove everything possible that it's not haunted before you say it's haunted or it's demonic, because this has been going on for 5 years, and it's only hurting her more and more the longer it goes.
It also actually tell how we think the family member tried it on another family member and it worked so well that's why they continue doing it with her.
Okay. After we did some of our research and we've talked to family, friends, and everything, and done interviews with them. After we talked to someone, one of the family members, we had found out that early on in the beginning of this 5-year stretch, they had some haunted things happening to them that kind of drove them out of the house. But we think it might have been a trial run to see what they could get away with. And once that person believed it was, then that's when it was like, okay, let's focus on this other person.
Again, Dana couldn't get into a lot of the details of the case because we have a good grasp and we know what's going on. This person has been guided by these notes to make business and financial decisions, end of life decisions, all kinds of stuff. And if the person that is doing this ever sees this, I really don't care, because there's a special place in hell for you. You are one of the most evil human beings I've ever come across. The three of us that have been involved with this, like, it's consumed us for 2 weeks. It's constantly on our minds. We're constantly thinking, what do we need to do next? Because the client just doesn't see what's going on here, even though she does, if that makes any sense. You know, and I think subconsciously she knows what's going on, but it's not. She has been so driven to fear for 5 years that the fact that this could be a person doing this just isn't even entering her mind. Especially with all the backings, with friends telling her that this is a haunting, other family members telling her this is a haunting. It just blows my mind that anybody that would look at the evidence that we've seen would come to the conclusion that we've come to. You know, we did take her to the authorities because we felt that she's like in legit danger. And again, if we could get more details, you guys would all understand, oh yes, you had to do that. So, because at the end of the day, if we get fired or not, we still have to sleep at night. And my conscience was not, we couldn't just walk away from this knowing what we know without saying, hey, somebody needs to help this poor person. But anyway, that's a little bit of why these guys like Clayton piss me off. I can't imagine if this person would have reached out to him and he got a hold of this case. It bothers me that this very well could happen, Clayton. If you even see this, you could get a case like this. How are you going to handle it? You know, we're not there filming with cameras in a spirit box and a fucking DR60. And if you haven't looked those up yet, you really need to, because those things are the worst. You know what? Back in the day, I thought I've caught a lot of EVPs too. And we didn't get cheap recorders, and the DR60 is not cheap, although back in the day it was a piece of shit. But, you know, get yourself one of these. Get yourself a high quality recorder and do the same thing. You're not going to get any of those EVPs that you got in this video. I don't know, guys. It's just eating us up. And we had to say something about it, because to me, I wish I could tell these stories. You know, I wish I could show you guys the notes, the interviews, all that stuff, but it's not fair to, I don't have permission to. And I'm not even going to ask for permission, because I don't feel that that's the right thing to do. I do believe that there is some educational purpose in telling the stories, because people need to know what's going on out there. People need to know that there are psychics and paranormal teams that misguide people and scare them. And it just, I've dealt with this shit for about 5 years, and this case almost made me quit. Like, I almost said, you know, I'm fucking done with this. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm really going to think long and hard before we take on another residential case. I mean, we're in this one until we're completely kicked out, and we're not harassing the person or anything like that, but you know, we're in this until there's resolution. And sometimes that resolution is, you know, I can't have you guys out here anymore because I'm so scared of what it's going to do to me. But, you know, we're in this one until it's over. You know, whatever the outcome is. But if you're not willing to do that, don't step foot in them. Don't even take emails. Don't even ask for people to tell you about their haunted house, because, man, Clayton, I've seen some shit, dude. Like, and the majority of it has nothing to do with ghosts. So if you're not willing to deal with that, then don't do it. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching again. Sorry this ending got a little bit long. This whole video is long, but put a lot of work into it. Plus, I feel like a lot of this really needs to be said. But thanks for watching. Join us on the next one, and we appreciate and love you all for your views. You know, we have a good community here. You know, I know there's a lot of people that watch everything we put out and love it, and that's why we do it. So anyway, I can't say peace because that's what Beardo does, Beardo says Beardo out, so I can't do that. So we're just gonna say until the next one, peace, guys.